It's Wednesday, April 24th. I'm Jasmine Anderson. The federal trial is scheduled to begin today for a former Long Island urologist who's accused of sexually abusing patients. Dr. Darius Paduch, who worked for Northwell Health in Great Neck and Lake Success, faces charges of assault and abuse against minors and adults. He also worked for Weill Cornell Medicine in Manhattan. If convicted, he could get life in prison. In addition to the criminal trial, Paduch also faces lawsuits for hundreds of former patients. Only Newsday, carcinogens have been found once again at a Superfund site in West Islip that had already undergone a cleanup. State officials will hold a virtual community meeting about it today. Last month, the State Department of Environmental Conservation said increased levels of cadmium were found around the former D'Souza Fastener Company site on Union Boulevard. They also found it in the sediment and water of nearby Willits Creek.
People live around Capri Lake, and people live on one side of the creek, so the creek goes through their backyards. And on the other side of the creek is where the children play. It's behind the schools. And so all of the fields there where they play sports and have recess are there.
$35 million was spent to clean up the site. 2 years ago, the DEC said the pollution had been eliminated. We're still waiting for the test results on chemical drums most recently unearthed at Bethpage Community Park. Tests done on the first 6 drums revealed they contained waste oil and possible carcinogens. A total of 16 have been pulled out of the ground at the park, which was formerly the site of Grumman Aerospace. The land was donated to the town in 1962 without disclosure of the contamination. The island's jobless rate is on the rise. According to the state labor department, it jumped from 3.1% in March of last year to 3.6% last month. The data shows a slowdown in the labor market. Overall, the number of unemployed people on the island jumped by more than 8,000 to hit 55,100 people. Donald Trump's hush money trial will resume tomorrow. That's after the former publisher of the National Enquirer told a Manhattan jury Trump was part of a catch and kill scheme ahead of the 2016 election. Yesterday, David Pecker testified he helped hide stories that could harm the former president's 2016 election bid. Trump is accused of falsifying business records to make $130,000 in hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels. If convicted, he faces up to 4 years in prison on each of the 34 counts against him. To read the latest on the trial, Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. George Santos is out of the congressional race. In a tweet yesterday, the former 3rd District Congressman said in part, "I have decided to withdraw from my independent run for New York 1. Santos was running independently for New York's 1st District and continued he did not want to split the ticket. He was kicked out of Congress after he was accused of fraud and money laundering. He's awaiting trial on those federal charges. A solar-powered parking lot is coming to Kennedy Airport. The panel-covered carport will be large enough to cover 11 football fields. It's expected to cost between $80 and $90 million. The Port Authority says it will produce enough clean energy to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by more than 6,000 metric tons each year. The project will also give back to the community.
Half of the carport's 12 megawatt generating capacity will be used to provide reduced energy costs for low-income households in the community.
This will be the largest solar carport and energy storage system in New York State. Some LIRR commuters are riding the rails for free, and the railroad is having a tough time making them pay up. Alfonso Castillo has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
If you ride the Long Island Railroad enough, you've probably seen it. Somebody gets on the train, says they forgot their wallet, they can't pay for their ticket, and they're given a bill to fill out and send back with payment. Maybe it's even happened to you, but I'm guessing it hasn't happened to you more than 100 times.
Newsday recently got its hands on a list of the LIRR's most persistent fare beaters over a 6-month period ending in September. The top repeat offender received 155 invoices for unpaid train tickets within about 180 days, totaling more than $2,100.
If I'm paying, why do they not have to pay?
More than 30 others have racked up 50 or more bills within 6 months. The MTA has said it issues $1.4 million a year in invoices to passengers who can't or refuse to pay for the rides, but gets back less than 5% of that.
It's very clear that the numbers speak for themselves. The system doesn't work at all.
MTA Chairman Janno Lieber has acknowledged that the antiquated IOU system is broken and has said steps are being taken to fix it, including by having more MTA police officers on trains.
What they're doing for the first time, I think in a long time, is they're just taking them off the train. So that is probably a significant discouragement for people.
Rider advocate Lisa Daglian believes addressing fare evasion also means making fares more affordable for low-income New Yorkers, seniors, and riders with disabilities.
If somebody else is gaming the system and you're not, it's not just frustrating, it's a sense of injustice. So I think that it's past time to look at ways to address that, where it's introducing a fair and equitable system.
And of course, fare evasion isn't just a problem on the Long Island Railroad. The MTA says across all its agencies, fare beaters are costing them $700 million a year. For NewsdayTV, I'm Alfonso Castillo.
Alfonso, thank you. To read more about this story on Newsday.com, click Get More below the NewsdayTV video box. In sports, the Rangers managed to hang on and win the second game of their playoff series against the Capitals.
Taken away by Zibanejad, in with Kreider. Zibanejad, Miller scores!
That goal in the second period turned out to be the game winner for the Blue Shirts. They scored the 4-3 victory at the Garden. That gives them a 2-0 lead in the series as they head to Washington for Game 3 Friday night. Professional women's softball is coming to Long Island. Matt Lindsay has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
Long Island's new professional softball team is gearing up for its first season. The New York Rise will play its first game on June 19th.
Some of the heroes that I had, they're Major League Baseball players, and what I'd love to have for my daughter is to have professional softball players. And I can't wait to bring this to life in New York.
Like a lever, lift, throw.
Local pitching coach and Belmore native Tony Marie Valeriano will serve as an assistant coach, and Westbury's Sarah Cornell will pitch.
I saw their Instagram page and I was like, wow, like there's a New York professional softball team. I was like, I need to be on this team.
One of the goals of this team is to help women's sports stay on the rise.
I have a few kids, Notre Dame, UNC, Clemson Dreams, right? But not a lot of people talk about pro softball. So hopefully I hear that from someone's mouth now that we're doing this.
We only grew up watching college softball as like our professional kind of teams. And yeah, it's crazy that this dream is kind of a reality now.
The Rise will play a 19-game regular season with its home stadium at Hofstra University.
The end game is to be like MLB and what the New York Mets can do for New York and have that kind of a fan base. But these are baby steps. We want to get this first season going, and hopefully it's a tremendous success.
I'm Matt Lindsay for Newsday TV.
Wow. An exciting time for women's sports. Read more about the new softball league on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Now to weather. After lots of sunshine yesterday, expect those clouds to move in today. Let's take a peek outside. Here's a look at Main Beach in East Hampton. The sun's still coming up over the horizon. It's absolutely gorgeous, and you can see the clouds. There are some showers on the way today. We'll talk about it. Checking out your hyper-local forecast, mostly cloudy today. Highs in the upper 60s. We cool down a bit as we get into the evening hours. Tomorrow, sunny, and it cools down just a bit. Highs in the 50s. And here's a look at your futurecast. Pop-up showers throughout the day, so get ready for that. And looking at your 7-day forecast, you can see gorgeous weather, plenty of sunshine, and highs in the upper 60s. And we even have highs in the 70s. That's your 7-day forecast.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
I'm Jasmine Anderson. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching.